Welcome, everyone. We'll give people just a minute or two more to join. Might be a small session this afternoon.
Small is totally fine.
We'll keep it quick, and you guys can talk, ask questions, and share some thoughts at certain points. Um, okay, great. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. And I'm super excited to talk to you guys about the LinkedIn partnership. If you've been paying attention in the Coach Slack or on LinkedIn, you probably saw that it went live officially yesterday. And it's been so fun, so exciting. We are seeing a ton of really great and really high quality clients come through this partnership. And yeah, just excited to match more and more of our coaches with some of these clients. So I'll just walk you all through a little bit of how the partnership works, how this offering is different from what clients typically do when they come in through the website and search for coaches themselves. And yeah, you guys can share some of your insights from coaching in a couple points as well. So, for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Kristen. I work with Erica on everything coach operations, and I also have kind of been project manager for the LinkedIn partnership. I have a background in consulting, tech, entrepreneurship, and yeah, I'm just super happy to be here and be working with and learning from all of the coaches at Leland. I also do coaching, mostly management consulting coaching, as well as some career coaching on the platform. So, as I said, the goal of today is to help you learn how to use trial sessions to build your coaching business. Um, Basically, trial sessions are more like paid coaching hours than an intro call, but they fit in the middle where they're a little bit more focused on helping a client get to know you and get to know coaching, maybe for the first time. Um, so expect some of these clients to have worked with coaches before, and expect other clients to not really have any idea what coaching is because they might have just seen it on their LinkedIn Premium account and said, "Oh, I want to try coaching. That sounds interesting." So as you can see, we kind of break it down like a trial session should be like 20% sales, 80% value. We don't want this to feel like a sales call. We have some restrictions on what you can sell and how you can like talk about different options for coaching because of that. And I'll explain a little bit more about that later. And yeah, the goal is subscription conversion. What we're seeing so far as clients come through and are expressing their needs is a big focus on career development. There's a handful of people who might be applying to master's programs, MBAs, things like that, but the majority of people are at some point where they want to plan their next step or find a job, or they're struggling with applications and they need help, things like that. So I'm going to show you just kind of how clients get here. Um, this is one way. There's also different notifications through email and LinkedIn notifications where clients will learn about perks and maybe get notified about this option. This is old. I need to update this since it is live with Leland now yesterday. But basically, if you are a premium member, you click on your profile, you click premium features below the profile, and you'll see this page here in the middle. And then if you click explore free benefits in the bottom right corner, you'll see this page on the right. And if you saw John's LinkedIn post and other LinkedIn posts yesterday, now Leland is on there along with Wall Street Journal, Duolingo, Spotify, Name.com, as well as these partners that were there before. So that's kind of how it works. Once they click on redeem 1 month free on the Leland LinkedIn Perks offering, they will then be directed to a survey. And after the survey, they'll create an account on the platform and put in their credit card info and start a free trial. So that's kind of how they get there. And then we'll just tell them like, hey, we're matching you with a coach. You should hear back within 2 to 3 business days. I will say like the faster you can accept these opportunities, the better, just because these clients are expecting a coach and they're excited probably when they first fill out their opportunities. We also are sometimes sending opportunities to more than one coach so that we can ensure that we're delivering a match within 2 to 3 business days. So yeah, act fast if you want it for sure. Otherwise, another coach might grab it before you. Um, in terms of what the client is getting, they're not just getting coaching, they're also getting some additional Leland benefits. So it's framed as a subscription, and the base subscription, which everyone is opted into for their free month, is the 1 times per month plan. And they have the option to upgrade to 2 times per month or 4 times per month if they decide that they want more frequent coaching. They're all framed as 30-minute sessions, but if the client does for whatever reason, 1 hour-long session, it's just time on their balance. So you get 30 minutes on the balance, 1 hour on the balance, 2 hours on the balance. And then yeah, the coaching session is the core offering. Once they get matched with the coach, they'll be encouraged to schedule, or reminded to schedule. You can always reach out when you accept the opportunity, and then afterwards to make sure the client gets their free session and has a good experience. And then the additional benefits beyond coaching are access to Leland Plus, and we've been really improving Leland Plus, adding more content, especially in the like general career development area. So there's a lot of really great resources there to help clients in any field who are searching for a job, who are struggling with interviews, who are struggling to define their goals or their values or their plans. And I'll tell you a little bit more later about some resources we have that will help you send them Leland Plus resources if you aren't a contributor to Leland Plus and can't access it. And if you think of something you want to add to Leland Plus, feel free to message me. Always happy to help you upload new content to the platform, and you'll make money every month based on how many people use your content. The other thing, which is super fun and kind of new that we haven't offered before in a subscription, is free admission into an upcoming boot camp. So we'll have a variety of boot camps in the next few months, and these clients will get every month they're subscribed, but we'll have like free admission into a boot camp. So this is also a great opportunity for them to just get like some really intensive preparation in whatever way, whatever they're looking for, whether it's a certain program they're applying to, or maybe it's just like general how to build your resume, how to prepare and apply for jobs more effectively. There'll be a variety of different boot camps offered. Um, so yeah, there's the overview of what these clients are getting. Now I'm just going to give you guys like a quick few tips about before the session, during the session, and after the session, and how to make the most of these clients and give them a great experience. So before the session, it's basically the same as any coaching session. Read what the client said. Most of the clients that we're matching are leaving like really thoughtful responses about exactly what they're looking for. So read their message and the opportunity, reach out to them, and feel free to ask for context if there's anything that's unclear, if there's any materials you'd like. For example, if they say they're on the job search or they're applying for things, I think it's almost always a really good idea to start with, hey, can you send me your resume beforehand? Then you just, a 2-minute read of their resume can get you so far in the coaching call and make that more effective. So during the trial session, I want to hit on 3 points. The first one, again, is like always important and always a best practice, but make sure that you get to know the client and get to know their goals. Just treat these clients like paid clients, make sure they feel like you care about them. It's different from most of the work you guys have done on this platform in the fact that these clients didn't pick you. They didn't look through all of the product management coaches and say, I want this person. And so because of that, you need to really like find a way to connect, find a way to sell yourself, and make sure that they feel really excited and comfortable working with you. The second point is to provide value with specific insights and questions. And I just want to emphasize here that you might want to think about clients as fitting into one of two categories. And this always applies in coaching, but I think it applies even more in like a free trial set type situation, where one bucket, like the first paragraph says, they have a specific goal. They're like, this is what I want. I know I want this. And then you just help them make a plan to get there. And you can really provide specific insights and advice to add value. If the client, on the other hand, comes in and they're just like generally exploring something, or they're not sure, or they have multiple options, then the approach will be a little bit different, and the value you add will come more through the form of thoughtful questions, really digging deep into like where they're at, what they're looking for, and what they can specifically focus on, so that by the end of the session, they have something specific they're working towards, and you have a plan of how you're going to help them in the next session. So I wanted to ask this crowd, which we started with like two, and you guys all just showed up late and came through, so that's good. Um, oh, no, I won't be like picking on one person, but yeah, if a couple of you just want to come off mute or type in the chat, some of the things you've done when it's like general career coaching, when someone doesn't have a specific outcome in mind, what have you seen work well? John says questions, good questions to promote introspection and thoughtful responses. I love that. I often say like when you ask questions at the beginning, try to make them more vertical than horizontal, right? So like instead of asking them like a million like random like tell me a superficial fact about yourself questions, like try to like dig deep if especially if they're like just kind of not sure where they're what they're heading towards. Um, Alex says depends on how much of a pivot they're looking to make. Yeah, that's super true. Um, Identify priorities. Something a coach mentioned in another session kind of related to priorities is like having them do like a report card on their life and like whatever categories you can decide categories as a coach, or you can ask the client like maybe it's like work and family and physical health and mental health, or maybe it's even like within work like different kind of categories you want to score, and then whatever the lowest score is you decide to focus on that and make a goal on that. What kind of work energizes you? That's also a super good thing to ask and help people think about. I think sometimes like when I've coached people in a more general career sense, like I'm like, you guys, you aren't your goals aren't high enough, or like, there's something you love doing, but you've set a limit on yourself or you haven't focused on that enough. So I think that's a really great question that can help people leave feeling really excited that they can do that more. Okay. Thanks everyone for contributing in the chat. Um, this is the final point to make for like best practices during the session. We want to make sure that you identify a really clear path forward and agree on specific tasks between sessions and a specific plan for the next session. This is so important. I did a career coaching subscription through a different company a few months ago, and I was like really not impressed with the experience I had, mostly because of this point. Like the coach just didn't identify a clear path forward at all. And I didn't know what we'd work on in the next session. And I just kind of left being like, this was interesting. Like you gave me some helpful pointers, but I don't know like how you're gonna add value in the future. And so I didn't go back. So I think yeah, this can help so much. And we'll talk about a few like specific things that you can do within the subscription LinkedIn partnership world to make sure that you give the client the best experience possible. So first, explain how you're going to approach the client's goal and give them like a roadmap of the things they need to work on and how you'll contribute, how you'll add value and make that process easier. That might happen at the beginning if they have a clear goal. It might happen at the end if it's taken a minute to identify a goal. Second, explain how coaching subscriptions work and encourage them to upgrade if they need more frequent support. So this again like is where we come to the point of like we don't want you to be overwhelming them with options of a million different things that a million different ways they could approach coaching. In most cases it's best if they stay just on the subscription at the beginning, and that's what they joined for. They think they're getting a coaching subscription, and so tell them about the three options. If they want more frequency they can upgrade, and maybe if they don't have anything really specific or clear and they just want like occasional check-ins for accountability for improvement, maybe staying on the 1 time per month session makes the most sense. So yeah, just fill it out, see what the client's focused on and how urgent their goal seems to be. And then finally, encourage them to schedule their next session during the call. We're built, yeah, in the product with subscriptions, they can schedule like a month out and schedule that automatically like for when the subscription renews. And so you can just encourage the client to do that. If they do want to have a session sooner than their subscription renews in the first month, they have the option to buy like a la carte additional time. And that's just kind of standard upgrade price at the pro rate. That's how we design the partnership. So that's
I
how
have a
that
quick
works.
question before we move on from this slide.
Yes.
So one of the problems I have just generally is that I have to limit the hours that I can have available in Leland without my input, but I'm actually open far more than that. The problem is like it's around scheduling other things, so I don't have like a Calendly that constantly is open, because it's also not true that every open spot would be available for people. So the consequence is when I'm coaching people one-on-one, we have to potentially go back and forth on a different time that they can pick. And then I'll schedule the time and they'll be able to use it. With these things, given like that last piece that you just mentioned about like adjusting availability, will these types of opportunities be able to be a situation where I can schedule a time that we both agree on and then they'll be able to use it? Or do I have to adjust my calendar so that they can schedule it? Like, is there
Yeah,
a
good
ability-
question. All of the scheduling functionality should be exactly the same as it is across the platform. Like we didn't change anything in particular. It might say something different, like, oh, you have to pay extra if you want this hour versus this hour doesn't cost any extra, like depending on the day they schedule. But you should still be able to do it that way, if that's what works for you and what you've done in the past. So
Okay.
and ideally, we're in the future, coming soon in future months, we'll have a feature where clients can also upload their availability. So it makes it even easier for situations like that if you have a hard time putting your availability on the platform for whatever reason.
Even more so, I would love if clients could request a time. It doesn't automatically necessarily book, but if they could request a time, because right now they can't if it's outside of the times that are open on the coach's side.
Yeah. And one other thing you can do is increase your availability, because you'll still have to say like looks good for every time a client schedules a session. And if it doesn't look good, you could, you can always just say like, hey, can we reschedule this? Here's some options or something like that. So that's another way. If you do want to give them more flexibility up front, you would just have to be ready to say, request to reschedule, and respond to that. Good question, Joshua. They will appear as opportunities in the opportunities tab as usual. Um, we will, it'll be pretty clear that this client's on a subscription and that you're making like a trial session rate, and then you'll make a higher rate once the client converts to a paid session. So it should be pretty clear that it's like coming from LinkedIn, and we'll always add, like the matching team will always add a message like, hey, this is a client that signed up through the LinkedIn trial. We think you'd be a good fit. And then we'll add the client's message, the client's message through the survey below. So should come in the same place. You'll get a notification if you have the app downloaded. All of that should be the same. Okay, 2 quick points to make. These are specific to like niche scenarios and shouldn't happen too frequently. But if there is a client who comes in and say they like have an application deadline, whether it's a job or a program, and they really need help in like a big chunk of time, you can recommend a standardized package or a la carte coaching hours. We do not want you to sell your custom packages just because we have to standardize the offering. We have to say to all LinkedIn clients they're getting the same like amount of value, and the same pricing. It just makes the most sense for at least the first few months of the client's experience on the platform. And so you'll be able to, after the call's over, there'll be a post-session screen where you can recommend either they upgrade to a higher level subscription or upgrade to a standardized package, basically. And they can stay on the subscription with the package, or they can cancel the subscription with the package. Anyway, just like base it off of the client's needs. If you have questions about what you can offer and what's best for the client, feel free to send me a message. We recognize that we don't know all the scenarios that we'll be seeing, and we want to like give the client a good experience no matter what. So the second point here is that if the client has specific goals that don't fit your areas of expertise, let them know that you'll help them find a coach that's a better fit. This shouldn't happen too often, but occasionally we will see, so far in our 1 day of the partnership being live, we'll see a response that has a few different, like, okay, they put this category, but then they mentioned a couple of other categories in their open response, and looks like they're exploring a few different paths. Like, we're not sure exactly who's the best coach, and we probably don't have a coach that's like, this and this and this and this. And so anyway, if you find out with one of those clients that they actually are focused on just one of those things and that's not your area of expertise, send me a message and we will rematch them and give them a different coach. And if the client converts, we'll still give you, the original coach, a bonus for taking the session and helping them find a coach that's a good fit. And to talk about bonuses, here is just a quick overview of the bonus you'll receive on the day the client's card is charged of their second month. It goes up if you get them to upgrade. And yeah, we just want to incentivize you to really get these clients to convert, help them really see the value they're getting out of coaching, and ultimately stay with Leland and have a long-term partnership with you and the Leland platform. Yeah, there's more information about compensation in depth in the Notion that I shared in the Slack yesterday. So if you want additional details on how the pricing and compensation works, you can check that out there. Just to summarize everything I've said so far, if you haven't been listening or paying attention, look at these quick points. First, explore their values, interests, and goals. Really make sure that you connect with them, you get to know them. Second, ask open-ended questions. You guys all left some good comments about how to approach that. Third, provide value and showcase your expertise. And fourth, specify clear next steps and follow-up items. Just help them see the vision, help them see the path to a paid coaching experience. Okay, so quickly, we'll talk about a couple points after the trial session, what happens after, how to help them have a good experience after the session, and then that's it. We'll wrap up. So again, in the session, make your plans for the next session clear. Thank the client for their time afterwards. Send a recap. If you discuss any resources, send them resources. And then send a check-in message 1 week or 2 weeks after the call. I think this piece is so important for subscription clients, especially. If they see that you're investing in them and you're thinking about them throughout the month, they're going to be so much more likely to come back to the other coaching session with excitement. And I will say too, like, even say a client like gets the free trial, immediately says, I'm going to cancel, I have no intent to pay for this after the free month. But they still get like their full month of access and Leland coaching. And so also, like, if the client mentions that in the call, or I don't know, I think you still have a chance to win them over, I guess is what I'm saying, even after the session, if you're doing a good job of keeping them engaged. And then finally, recommend events, Leland Plus content, and packages. Again, packages are in rare circumstances when the client really expresses like urgent need, and the rest of the time, events and Leland Plus content can just be a great way to supplement the live coaching session and help them see that there's a lot of different ways that they can learn and get access to expertise through the platform. Also, would just highlight, like, if you have clients through this partnership and outside this partnership who all seem to like have similar needs or be preparing for a similar type of goal, apply to do an event and launch your event on the platform. I think that is just such a great way to get new clients and also just get exposure to people in the area you coach in and figure out like what their needs are, what their questions are. And then finally, when in doubt, follow up. Yeah, just ask ask questions, remind people, and show them that you care. Okay, we have time for a couple thoughts here if anyone wants to chime in. What approaches have you used at the end of a session to help your client look forward to the next one?
I feel like giving homework is a hack. Just like, hey, here's this thing that I'm going to be able to help you out with, but I need you to do this in between. So one, they have more investment in it, and then two, they know they're getting more value in the next.
Yeah, I totally agree. Something sometimes I will do as well is like say like my homework is this and your homework is that. Like you do this and then I'll review it and give you feedback and then we'll do something else the next session or whatever that looks like. So totally, homework is, as much as we hate homework in college, it's helpful and it makes us do things and learn. Okay, so before we end, I want you all to fill out a survey. It'll take 1 minute. And this just will help us as we are sending a lot of opportunities to a lot of coaches. It will help us manage demand a little bit and make sure we're not bombarding you with opportunities if you don't have capacity to take like a lot of opportunities. And if you do have capacity to take a lot of opportunities, it will help us know that we can send you a lot as they're coming through. Okay, my computer's freaking out. I just need to escape so I can copy this link. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, there's a link to the survey. So go ahead and fill it out. You literally just type 4 numbers of how many trial sessions you want. This week is on there, and I know this week is almost over. So if you want to put 0 for this week, that totally makes sense and is fine. I'll give you guys just like 30 more seconds to do. Okay, awesome. Once again, I just want to reiterate this, like this is new and we're learning as we go. We're learning about these clients in different situations. So please do not hesitate to reach out to Erica or I. We want to help. We want to have feedback about how it's going for you. You all should be added to the LinkedIn Partnership Slack channel. If you aren't, or you just barely opted into trial sessions, I'll get you added. Feel free to message me on Slack if that doesn't happen in the next day. But we'll be sending updates there as well. And you can totally send like insights you have, tips you have, questions you have that are applicable to the larger group in that Slack channel. And then finally, I just have a summary slide of everything we've talked about. Maybe, there we go. So once again, build trust, communicate value, and help the client also like recognize the value that they gained in the session. That will really help them convert. And set goals and expectations for the next session, whether it's with you or another coach, and treat every session like a valued paying client. Do your preparation, send a message beforehand, and show up as your best self. I see that my video is freezing a little bit, so if I cut out there, apologies. But that's all I've got. I'll stay on for a couple minutes for questions if anyone has questions about the partnership. And thanks for joining.
Good to see you, Kristen.
Good to see you, John. See ya.
Hey, Kristen, quick question. Totally fine if you can't answer this.
Yeah.
Just wondering, so from the time that's been online so far, which I know is not very long, has there been a lot of excitement, engagement already, or kind of what are you seeing?
Yeah, it's a good question. We've had a good amount of people come through already. We also anticipate when LinkedIn sends out like emails or notifications, having like a big influx, and they haven't sent any of those comms out yet. So hopefully in the next week, we'll see some of those go out and see like really big influx. But even just like kind of organically, we've already had like a good number of people come through. So yeah, stay tuned. We hope it's big and we get a lot of people for all the coaches who are opted in.
And my follow-up question, which I think is really similar to Joshua's that he put in the chat right now, is do you know if the LinkedIn focus will be very much career oriented, or will there, I mean, there's plenty of people on LinkedIn who are also interested in application to graduate school and things like that?
Yeah, good question. I'll answer both kind of together. Again, we don't have like with the data we've had so far, it's hard to say if it's representative of like every day that the partnership's live, but I would say majority are career focused. However, there are some people who are interested in different masters and MBA and graduate program, doctoral programs, whatever you call those. And so I don't know if I've seen any messages that are like, I'm preparing for this test, I need help. But I would assume that some of those clients might come through, or if you're like both a GMAT and an MBA coach, that someone who's interested in an MBA might also need GMAT help. So I guess, yeah, to summarize, like test prep is probably the least likely, followed by school programs, school admissions, and then careers the bulk. But there have been a few indications that some people are coming through looking for help with admissions. No crazy big amounts of test prep. But yeah, we'll see how that evolves. And I know that like if you're just a test prep coach, that might be a little frustrating. But also just know we have some other good test prep growth strategies in the works and should be getting some good leads from those in the future as well.
So much,
But yeah.
really helpful, and I guess I just need to make sure on my end that I'm primarily an admissions tutor, but I'm open to career as well. I just need to make sure that's reflected on my end.
Yeah, go and add some categories. If you want to do career, add categories for what you've worked in. You could add general career development as well if you'd like, and that'll help you get some clients who maybe are a little bit more on the career job search side.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Sophia. Thanks, Joshua. Have a good day, you guys.